Hello guys, it's Robin. It's another quick guide, and again it is on Mage. Now you're going to need 60 Mage for this, and it is for 3 really strong spells that I highly advise you getting. You're going to want to go northwest from the Alduin lever, and it is in 52 wild, but don't worry about that, it's not that much of a risk. Now what we do is once we're here, we're going to come and talk to Collodion inside the Mage arena, or it's kind of the Mage bank this is known as. We go to the Mage arena in a second. Once you talk to him and you have 60 Mage, he will teleport you out to the arena. What you have to do when you're there is you have to fight 5 stages of Collodion. Now this is the Pures guide, so I'm showing you it on somebody who has 1 defense. Wow, he had 3 health, I did not realise that. This is somebody with 1 defense and of course 15 prayer, so no pray magic or pray melee, but for him of course it is magic. Now all you really need is a moderately high health level and to just safe eat and get a system like I showed you with killing Farid. What you want to do is, I don't know, 2 or 3 successful casts and then eat. You might want to bring out sharks, it's completely up to you. Now as I said, Collodion has 5 stages, and it starts off as himself, then it is this ogre, and we will go through the rest of the stages. Now the second to last and the last one do have quite high health, but each of them I don't believe have any higher magic level than the last, because they don't successfully cast on you that often, and it is actually quite easy for me at 55 health. Now what you want to bring is of course chaos or death runes, air runes and a fire staff, just to be able to cast your highest fire spell. Blood runes would be great if you can do a low blood rune spell, but I'd probably advise chaos or death just in case you do die. Now a couple of things to tell you. One, when you are in this arena you cannot use melee, you can only use mage. So if anybody does happen to come across you in this arena, do not worry. If they've got a whip or some sort of dragon weapon, don't even hesitate, they cannot attack you, it has to be mage. If they have mage, safe eat, run out to the lever, try and log out as quickly as you can. Now once we have killed these 5, which I will speed up the video for in a second, I will skip ahead to the next bit for you guys. Okay, so this is the sped up section. It's me killing the 5 bosses. Now as you can see, as a pure, unless you've ranged to about 80 range and you've got yourself something ridiculous like 65-70 health, you're gonna struggle to do this in 1 trip. So as I did on 55 health, I struggled, but I did do it on 2 trips of lobsters, which is, you know, quite good considering it wasn't shark. And as I say, you just need to get a decent system. Now this is the second to last, the last stage rather of Collodion. That was the second to last just before, and he's a sort of greater demon. Now once you've killed him, as you can see, he will teleport. Oh, I risk here as well. This is absolutely brilliant. 3 lobsters left, and I could easily have died and lost all of those runes, and I killed him. I thought that was a pretty pro risk, but you know, leave comments, likes below if you think that was a good risk. Anyway, once you've completed that, you've now killed all 5 stages of Collodion, and you've proved to him that you are, you know, worthy of these staffs that you're about to obtain. Now these staffs are for the 3 gods, and feel free to just absolutely slate me for the pronunciation, but I've always pronounced it Guthix, Guthix, sorry, I just did it the wrong way. Apparently it's actually Guthix. Then there's of course Sorodomin and Zamorak. Now each of these 3 spells has an attribute, and it's really quite cool because it makes them, unlike all of the regular spells, it means that they're quite tactical to use. Now with Sorodomin, which is the one I went for, it is essentially smite, and it's essentially smite on steroids actually. Each successful hit that you do with Sorodomin, you take off 10 prayer from the enemy, so that's great for PKing if you're trying to smite them out. If you've got smite on as well, a couple of hits, they're literally out of prayer, which is really, really good. So it means they're going to have to be drinking their prayer pots, focusing on the fight a lot more. Now of course the other 2 spells, Guthix, or Guthix, however you want to say it, has another really good attribute. The ability is that every successful cast you hit with Guthix, it takes off 5% of their defense. So if you're, say, maging them with Guthix, you've managed to hit, I don't know, 20, 30, say 3 successful casts of 15s to 20s, you've got them down quite low. You whack out your DDS, their defense is down to something ridiculous like 20 or 30, or if it's a pure, you know, their defense is at nothing anyway. And then of course you can DDS the hell out of them after lowering their defense. Nice and tactical. And Zamorak is really great as well. With Zamorak, it lowers their magic level. So if you're fighting somebody else with a god staff and they don't luckily they've just got 60 mage or whatever, they don't have many mage levels above it, one successful cast and they don't have the mage level to actually cast that spell anymore, when they'll be there going, you know, what the hell, what's going on, really disorientate them and stop them from successfully PKing you essentially. So these 3 spells are really great, and of course the next stage is to take your staff, and this is where it's a bit risky. You cannot be teleported in. You have to take a knife, make sure you take one of those, you have to pull the lever, you have to walk out, cut the webs, and then back into the Mage Arena walking manually. So what you need is 200 bloods, and of course the corresponding fire and air runes, and I think it's 1 fire, 4 airs and 2 bloods for every cast of each god spell. I don't think it differs, so you're going to want 400 airs, 100 fires and 200 bloods for the successful cast. And this is because you still have to prove yourself to Collodion with each staff, and you have to do this for each staff individually, so maybe choose one for now, and it's 80k for an extra staff, by the way. The first one is however free. So you have to successfully cast 200 times. In fact, scratch that, sorry, splashes count. So you have to cast the spell 200 times, and you can only do it inside this arena on the followers of each god. And you can do it on any god, it doesn't matter. Once you've cast it 200 times, it will come up with a message box in your dialogue, and then you can use it outside. So I will speed up this last section for you guys. So this is the sped up section of me successfully casting the spell 200 times, or splashing. The splashes count as well. As you can see, I got a HP level, I got 55 HP whilst doing this, which combated me to 50, which I wasn't happy about, but I'm trying to keep my other stats kind of calculated so I don't go too far above 50 for now. And again, being a low level pro, you may have to do multiple trips like I'm doing here. Remember to bring that knife. If you are worried that you might get jumped in here, you know, bring some of the other runes for god spells, because red bar because you will not be able to cast this successfully on other players in this arena, not at least until you have casted it 200 times on these god representatives. So maybe bring some other runes just in case somebody is hopping worlds trying to kill you inside. So here we go guys, this is the last 2 casts. 1, 2 blood runes left, 2, and then you get your message in the dialog box. But of course if you're being attacked, that message disappears straight away. So now that's it, we successfully got the ability to cast this spell out of the Mage Arena and on players in the wild. So I really hope you like this guide today guys. Comment, like and subscribe, share it with your friends. Robin out.